Here's another rather large topic that's been talked about quite a bit since the Switch was shown off. People are wondering, should the Nintendo Switch support 4K? And I don't mean like native 4K gaming or anything like that, but 4K streaming, maybe the interface being rendered in 4K, whatever. Just the ability to do 4K output at 60 Hz. Should that be supported? Well, I think yes, and here's why. Let's take a time travel trip all the way back to 2005 when the Wii was near the end of its development. HD wasn't really adopted at a high rate at the time. It wasn't, like, not many people had HD TVs. A lot of people did, more so than, 4K TVs now, but it wasn't hugely adopted at the time because it was still very expensive to get into, and hey, all the game consoles that were already out didn't support HD, except for, the upcoming Xbox 360, so it wouldn't be a huge deal for them not to have HD in the Wii, right? Well, that was fine for the first few years of the Wii's life, but come, 2008, 2009, HD was more common in people's households. Almost nobody had standard definition anymore because the price went way down. So that caused developers to not care much about the Wii, that caused people to not adopt it as well, and it ended up being dated, and all the games looked dated, or most of them at least. So the Wii not supporting HD was definitely a huge mistake, even though at the time of its, towards the end of its development and its release, HD wasn't really that big of a deal. Now let's fast forward to now, 10 years later, or 11 years I guess, 2016. 4K right now it's being adopted pretty well, but it's still at a pretty low adoption rate. Most people who are on computers have 1080p screens. Most people who own TVs have 1080p TVs. 4K is not at a full adoption rate yet. Its price is starting to drop though. And you can get a nice 50-inch 4K TV with the ability to at least play HDR content, not like display it the way HDR is meant to be displayed, for about $450. And if you don't get that, you can get, I've seen ones as low as like $300. Of course, those are the low end of the 4K TVs, but 4K is going down in price like crazy. So its adoption rate is going to go up like crazy within the next few years, even more so than it is now. And Microsoft and Sony are smart, and they saw this. They saw, at least recently, that 4K is becoming more of a thing. So that's why we saw 4K streaming support and in the Xbox One S, and we have the PlayStation 4 Pro coming out, and we have the Xbox Scorpio coming out, because 4K is, by the time those are in the market and adopted at a higher rate, so is 4K. And if Nintendo Switch is left behind and it's not supporting some 4K in some manner, then that's going to be a huge mistake. I know people are going to be more accepting because of the fact that this thing is a handheld/home console, but Nintendo keeps repeatedly saying that it's primarily a home console, and people are going to be a lot less forgiving, even if it's meant to be a hybrid. So without 4K support in some manner, streaming, upscaling, even if upscaling basically does nothing, then the Switch is in for a shorter lifespan than it deserves, and that would suck. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video.